Learn how to drive, Shiksa.
It's just all about kosher style fabulosity. It's just like, it's this way that, you know, everything you do and say is incorporated into your life. It's your cultural attitude. It's the way you put things out there. It's just juicy.
Especially in New York, there's this whole culture scene around being hip and Jewish and identifying and having all these avenues to identify, like Jewish burlesque and Jewish stand-up.
The majority of Jewish young adults are very interested in their Judaism and their Jewish culture and heritage, but aren't really stepping into synagogues and Jewish community centers, and just have issues and troubles with some of those spaces for whatever reason, but that they need something to connect with Jewishly.
The media really picked up on this because it's the zeitgeist. It's the moment that this is all happening. Time Out New York ran this incredible cover story, and international media picked up on that story and really ran with it. And I think that sort of made it concrete that it was actually something that was tangible.
Learn how to drive, Shiksa.
There's all these amazing, incredible things happening, and it seems like people are picking up on it. There's all these great artists and events, and culturally, films are coming out, and you know, there's just so much more out there. And as we become more homogenized, we're kind of like looking back to see where we came from and what's out there, what's a part of our culture and our heritage.
You want us to talk dirty? You want us to talk dirty? Yeah. Okay. I want to have lots of children by you. I want to get a good paying, stable job. Yeah. Move to Long Island somewhere, someplace nice. Fancy, but not fancy schmancy.
For our parents' generation, to be called a Hebe was a bad thing. But now I think we're sort of the generation that takes back the word nigger, that takes back queer, and that uses it with pride. So this is our word, Hebe. There was really nothing in the world that communicated who we were and what kind of art we want to make and what we want to talk about and what kind of humor we have, and that it's not completely dorky to be Jewish. So it's actually, there's so many amazing, hip, cool things going on that are Jewish related, and crazy Jewish hairstyles, and just these things that are uniquely ours that aren't represented anywhere in the media in the world.
Kind of famous for my hair at this point. I've had to sign signatures on the street for some Hasidic Jews. But yeah, I guess in a way I'm kind of the face of Hebe because I've been in 2 issues because of my hair.
People now sort of really relate to each other on the level, oh yeah, well you read Hebe, or oh, you get it. It's a sort of like pride in being Jewish, having a sense of humor, being self-critical.
This is a song that was rejected by Mel Gibson when I submitted it for his new movie, The Passion of Christ. Jesus was a Jew. It's funny, but it's true. He went to school in a one-room shul, but we'll keep that entre nous. Every Christmas Eve, from Queens to Tel Aviv, tell them who is a Hebrew too. Jesus was a Jew.
I think that there are a lot of Jews out there who don't necessarily define themselves as religious, but they think of themselves culturally as Jewish. And this is a way of celebrating that in some way without feeling an affiliation to something that's political, because we're completely apolitical in that way. And it's not religious, but it is cultural, and it embraces bagels on Sunday morning and, you know, Chinese food, and it's like the Jewish thing on Christmas. You go to the movies and you have Chinese food. And that's just part of what it is to celebrate being juicy. There's an edginess to being juicy, a coolness, just a spirit. And that's really the goal of it, is for people to be able to feel proud of being all of those things and define themselves that way.
None of us are particularly, you know, ultra observant Jews. So this is really a way to sort of say, we're really proud of the culture and the impact that Jews have made to this, but to see that other people feel the same way and respond to it is tremendous.
Moonlight in my way at twilight, from the heights of my roof I send praise then poof. I'm looking up to the night and ask for help to get up and 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 rise.
His songs are very much about the, you know, the ideals that are really important to him right now, which is you know, messianic times, feelings of unity, togetherness, you know, kind of getting underneath the layers that we all, you know, have outside, and trying to get to, you know, thinking at least about what's important to us, what's at our core and our centers.
A lot of the quotes and the lyrics, like in reggae music in general, is taking from like a Jewish source, taking from the Old Testament. So for me, being like not religious, growing up secular, and I started hearing reggae music and seeing like the Star of David on an album, hearing Bob Marley sing like, we know where we're going, we know where we come from, we live in Babylon, we're going to the promised land. Like, so I felt like a really strong connection. Even before I became religious, I felt a strong connection to my Judaism in reggae music.
No one's ever seen you know, he's 6 feet tall, he's got a long beard, and he's on stage in a club, and he's singing, you know, he sings Shema Yisrael, you know, this kind of like basic tenet of Judaism on stage, and he's got people pumping their fists.
My message is like really to reconnect to Judaism, to the roots. Stay away from drugs and like looking towards outward things to make you, you know, feel better about yourself.
I'm 50 Shekel. I'm a Jewish hip-hop artist, and I'm doing this whole thing to raise Jew pride.
Yo, boy, Jake, it's your birthday. We're gonna party like it's your birthday. We're gonna just share it like it's your birthday. And you know we all know this today. It's your birthday. We're partying in the school, praying at the school. Honey, I got the set of things I think are cool.
In the Shul is just basically a straight-up like Jew pride track, and it also talks about going to shul. So it's like, you know, going to temple. It's like you gotta give God props, you know.
Hey, I'm in the shul, praying at the school, honey. I got the shepherds and we're jumping in my pool. I'm just here to make the beat. I am the club control. Don't give me a hug, give me here to get enough.
I hope if anything, this inspires other people to like get closer to Judaism, get closer to who they are. Some of them don't even know who they are, and maybe that's why they're checking this out. You could find me in the shul, praying after school, honey, I got the Shabbat if you're jumping in my pool. I'm just into making peace. I ain't into causing trouble, so come give me a hug if you're into getting love. Yeah, you know, that's the spiel.
There was such a hunger, and that it really filled this void for our generation, for 15-year-old boys, for like 65-year-old bubbies in Miami. Like, just the range of people that this whole phenomenon has affected is totally fascinating, and it makes you feel like you did something important, because there are all these people writing. You know, this grandmother was in love with Neil Diamond. She writes in issue 2, like, I'm a 95-year-old alcoholic and I adore Neil Diamond. Thank you for the centerfold. It's like, who would have thought?
Matthew, Mark, and Luke gave up the Pentateuch, but Mary's kid was a first-class yid. Joseph's son was a kosher one. Jesus was a Jew. He shopped at Neiman's. Jesus was a honking Jew. He loved his mother, but had ambivalent feelings towards his father. Jesus was a big, fat Jew.